What's up, everyone? Welcome to Level 7. It is time for another episode of the Agents of Fandom podcast. Happy Halloween to all that are joining us live. We are here on Friday, October 31st, live for Halloween. My name is TJ Zwarych, dressed up not for Halloween, but for the more important occasion, and that is Game 6 of the World Series with the Blue Jays trying to take things home against the Los Angeles Dodgers. But thankfully, my co-host is dressed up as a creepy, scary monster. It's Damon Gray. How you doing, Damon?
Oh, fuck you, guy.
I'm not your guy, friend.
Oh, happy Halloweeny. A year ago, roughly today, Agatha Harkness became a ghost. What's happened since then? I don't know. But yay, MCU history.
And one of Damon's better predictions here on the podcast. And speaking of somebody that's been hot recently for predictions, for theories, with his own podcasting journey, we have from thedirect.com, co-host of the Reckless Rebellion podcast, candy corn enthusiast, Klein Felt. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah,
I'm doing good. Jason 6. Let me just a sec.
This is why you got to check us out on YouTube. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can see Klein's beautiful retro Blue Jays jacket.
It's like a starter's jacket, though. I was going to wear it on the pod, but then I put it on. Like, this is like, in Canada, we make these things thick. And I'm not sitting here in the living room wearing a winter coat inside.
I mean,
that is some really good stuff. And the one of us who actually did dress up for Halloween today, G. Willikers, we got Nice Pool himself, the one Deadpool without a healing factor. Thomas Carter, Rochester, how you doing, my friend? Great to see you again. I feel I've been listening to the Reckless Rebellion every week, so I hear your voice all the time. And we've been texting about some football stuff, some podcast ideas, things like that, but I haven't seen your face in a while. It is nice to see you again.
it's good to see your face too. I do have a trade that I need to talk to you about in one of my ESPN leagues that is just somehow I'm in second place and I have 0 running backs. So I got to figure life out from there. But it's good to be back. Go Jays, I guess. I'm Canadian for the day.
Go,
so
Jays, go.
Wahoo! Wibbity-yabbity. Who cares? I mean, I'm a Yankees fan, so, everybody hates me.
Gross.
Cowboys
Yuck.
fan, Yankees fan, America fan. I'm just the worst. You know what I'm
What
saying?
a combo.
I know. It's a
Alabama
triple.
football, too? We just going to throw that in there?
Absolutely not.
No, his
Yeah.
college football team's in the middle of looking for a new coach.
We have a coach. We can't fire him. I'm a Florida State fan. We suffer. We suffer proudly here in the Seminole Nation. Oh, God. Just fire him anyways. I'm good. It's good to be back. Yes. We're in the thick of it. This is officially the end of fun. Tomorrow's November 1st. That's when Christmas starts for all the nerds that like Christmas, except it's not technically when Christmas starts, but whatever. And then Sunday is daylight savings, so it's just dark all day. It's a great time. Seasonal depression is here. Halloween is already basically over now. It's the greatest day of the year. It's my favorite holiday. Followed very far behind it is the Super Bowl, to give you an idea of where it ranks in the world of Tommy Pickle. But I'm here not to talk about the greatest day of the year. I'm here to talk about potentially the greatest Star Wars project of all time.
Ooh.
That's a bold statements being thrown out here early on, but I'm excited to talk about some Star Wars visions with you guys. Before we dive into it, shout out to those who are joining us live here in the YouTube chat. Say what's up. Let us know what you thought about the series. If you haven't watched it yet, no worries. We'll be chatting about some other things for a while. We'll give you a spoiler warning and all that good stuff. We thank you for hanging out. All we ask is that you hit that like button, help us grow this community, subscribe, hit the notification bell, help us battle that YouTube algorithm, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. You can find the Agents of Fandom. We have a nice 5-star rating. Leave us a written review. Help us battle those podcast algorithms as well. And you can go over to agentsoffandom.com for the latest in news and reviews, like my Star Wars Visions review. So if you want my full thoughts on the series, you can check them out up at agentsfandom.com. You can also find us on socials at Agents Fandom on TikTok and Twitter, Agents of Fandom everywhere else. Damon, I think you look beautiful. You look handsome. You look wonderful. You don't look like a creepy, scary monster. You're dressed up as a gorgeous, handsome man, Ryan Gosling-esque, if I may say. Gotta have to come in this one nicer since I came in the other one so rudely. What you been watching, my friend?
This show we're about to talk about, I haven't been watching a whole lot. I'm going to be completely honest. I've been stuck in Lumio City for about 2 weeks now, and they won't let me out. But I'm enjoying it. We had our podcast talking about it a week or so ago. I officially finished the main story. It took about 30 hours for me, at least. Been enjoying it. I don't know if I can rank it in a top Pokemon game yet. I feel like I still need a little bit more time on like a ranking point of view. Everyone knows my ranking on our website is very controversial. So maybe it'll have a controversial spot by the end. Who knows? So other than that, I just wanted to quickly shout out a local band of mine. Sunday Morning released their very first LP, very first album today. It's great. Check it out. It's called Eternal Grief. It's great.
I haven't been watching much recently, but what I have been tuning into is the new season of The Witcher on Netflix. Stay tuned because next week, Wednesday, November 5th, we will have a live show breaking down the new season of The Witcher as well. Myself, Jam, Matt Aguilar from comicbook.com. We're going to have a good time talking about The Witcher, so stay tuned for that. But I will say I'm having a lot of fun with this season so far. I'm only 3 episodes in, but in each of the 3 episodes, there has been a character introduced or a name drop of a major character within the video game. And the video game is maybe my favorite game of all time. And so been having a fun time with the season so far. Klein, how about you? What you've been watching, what you've been playing, what you've been reading, listening to, all of these things are allowed. You can bring up whichever one you want. Feel free to give your Legend ZA take as well, because we had our chat about it here on the podcast. But then you and I also had a full chat about it on the Controller Club podcast as well. And then we took your Controller Club podcast, co-host Lauren Rouse, we brought her back over to talk Gen V. So we've had a whole lot of Controller Club and Agents of Fandom crossover lately.
Yeah, we love to see it. We really do. Pokemon Legends ZA, just very quickly, I had a moment last night. I've been enjoying my time with it. I'm a diehard OG Pokemon fan. First 4 generations, I'm all over. Had dipped out for a little bit, have come back, did Sword and Shield. This is my first Legends game, and I've really liked my time with it so far, but had a moment last night. I'm about 25 hours in, and Damon, hearing your 30-hour mark actually gets me kind of excited, because I think my journey to become Pokemon champion might be either winding down or just be done entirely. I did another one of the rankings last night, and then it gave me another 3 rogue mega Pokemon to go fight. And I was like, there are so many things right now to watch, to play, to read, to listen to. Why am I, if I'm not enjoying myself to the fullest, why am I here? What am I doing? So we'll see. I did turn it off and went and played another game. I'm playing Hades 2 as well right now and really liking that. But Pokemon Legends ZA, I feel like I've gotten my fill a little bit. The thing I do really want to specifically talk about is I've been going on a bit of a journey, TJ, over the last couple of weeks. I don't know if this is going to resonate with anyone here on the podcast, but I've been hanging out with some of my friends, Ty, Mimi, Agumon, Matt. I am watching the original Digimon series for, I think, the first proper time. I watched it as a kid casually when an episode would be on, but I was not watching it each and every episode as it came out. And gosh, golly, what a TV show. Just so much fun. The characters are great. The story is actually, for being, it is very much a kid's show, but it is it goes surprisingly deep. And I don't know, I love a good let's put a machine gun on this Tyrannosaurus Rex creature. And that's what Digimon is best at. It is turning these cute little guys into weapons of mass destruction and putting thermonuclear missiles on their shoulders and giving them metal helmets and turning them into just like angels of death. And that's all we can really ask for when it comes to this kind of TV. It's great stuff. I'm really enjoying it. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
When you're done, I do recommend diving into Digimon World Evolution, or Next Order might be called. Let me get back to you. But there's a Digimon World remake for the new systems, and it is like the original game that came out in 1999, 2000, whatever it was, that was so confusing but fun. That like combines Pokemon game and Tamagotchi into a Digimon console game, and it is a ton of fun. And you should definitely play it once you're.
There's a game out right now. Like there's a new game that just
a
came
new
out.
one coming out. Yeah.
That I think it's out already at the last couple of weeks, and people are like, you have to play it. Like it's amazing. And it's coming off of playing Pokemon Legends ZA. I'm looking at it and going like, why can't we Pokemon fans have this? Like, why does it need to? Why don't we have voice acting? Why does the production value look like it was made for an iPhone 4? Like, what are we doing here? But Digimon, it's fantastic. There's also a new Digimon series. The reason I started is because a new series just started over the last couple of weeks called Beat Break, and I watched the first episode and was like, this rocks. Like, this is so cool. Digimon is so cool. I want to go watch, I think it's the Try series after this, which is the same characters, but like aged up 20 years and like a more like mature story. And that to me sounds like really cool. I've really kind of enjoyed diving into this like Digimon world again and seeing that they did a really good job, I think, going from season to season and series to series of, instead of Pokemon, where they kind of kept it the same age range as time went on. So like every 7-year-old has a Pokemon series to dive into for the first time. Digimon did almost exactly the opposite, where it's like, we're going to age with our fans. And every series got like slightly older as it went, and like slightly more mature until we get to now where it's like they're telling just like straight up adult stories with these like digital creatures, which is awesome. Great. Just fantastic.
And a great combination too, because when they finish the complete first story, when they bring it back, the two younger ones who are the little brother and sister, now they're aged up to the original cast age, and we get to meet their friends. But the older brothers and sisters who we know and love, they keep showing up. It's a great show that continues on, and it's underrated. It's underrated, I will say, because you don't have to like Pokemon or Digimon. You can love them both. They're both incredible. TCR, what have you been watching, my friend?
I just want to say I love Digimon. I did not have cable growing up. All I had was 4 channels and Fox Kids every afternoon and Saturday morning, because that's how old I am. And I watched series 1 for sure. I think I watched some of the series 2 when the younger siblings are like the same age and you meet all their friends. But I also feel like I've seen the massive time jump one where they're like straight up young adults, like 18, 19, 20 age range. But I've seen so many things in my childhood that they just black out. There was a wrestling show on there too. Dude would be really
shout out Fox Kids in general though, Thomas.
Dude, like, so good.
Great stuff. Kirby? There was a Kirby anime on there around then. There was Sonic anime around there on then. Like some just great banger TV shows. Saturday morning cartoon.
I don't know.
Sonic X theme song pops into my head so often.
Sonic X. Yeah, that definitely sounds about right. Yeah, there was some wrestling.
Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast. Gotta go faster, 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 faster. Sonic X.
Do it. What have I been watching? I recently watched Gen V season 1 with my girlfriend. She's binging The Boys, and I was like, I haven't seen anything past season 3. So she finished season 3, and I was like, let's watch Gen V together. And I watched that. Really good. Really excited. I can understand why people say that season 1 is better than season 2, because holy crap, was season 1 really, really good. So it's like, yeah, that's gonna be hard to top. Like, and seeing how they ended season 1, I'm like, yeah, that doesn't feel like it's going to be the same show. And it feels like I'm going to be a little bit more annoyed throughout it, which is saying a lot because it's the boys universe. I'm annoyed every 5 seconds by something someone does in that universe, which is why I don't watch it. I'm stressed enough, man. You see where I live? I live in the South, in case you're actually wondering. It's terrifying down here.
Thomas is in Florida, so he basically lives
yeah.
in the boys' universe.
Yeah, I do. And the worst part is the biggest villain is Alligator. You know what I'm saying? That gator don't come out of nowhere, man. They gonna get you, man. They ain't got nothing on them dang teeth, man. I've also been watching Star Wars Visions. I watched something else too, and I just can't remember what it is. Because remembering things is really hard. Lots of wrestling. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm a big wrestling fan here. I actually went to NXT on Tuesday down in Orlando. My girlfriend signed me up, and it's a free show. Didn't know that. So I went down there and watched that, and then came back up Wednesday and worked it from my office the last couple days. So like had that going on, and in a month we will be flying back from San Diego because we'll be at Survivor Series. So just a lot of fun being had, a lot of money being spent. And I was Triple H for pre-Halloween yesterday because it was a very casual cosplay to be rocking. I've been also playing lots of Madden. So Ultimate Team, man, I just can't stop. I just need I need football injected into my brainstem directly every now and then. And I've seen exactly one full game of football all season long because I've been traveling, but I played a lot of Madden, so we're balancing out.
Oh, I gotta say, it sounds more fun to be watching the football and not playing Madden. If I could choose one, that's the I kind of play the new one every year because I do a console share with somebody and they will buy it and I'll be able to play it. But every year I'm just like, oh, so it's the same, and it hasn't gotten any better. And got it. Okay, cool. I'll play it for about 3 days until I get sick of it, and then we'll be on to the next thing. I too have Hades 2 on the next thing on my list as to what I'm going to play, but I'm going to be honest, if that new Digimon game is already out, it's getting rave reviews, I might prioritize that over Hades 2, put Hades 2 on the back burner, and then get back into it after I complete the new Digimon game. I still have a couple things in Pokemon I want to wrap up, though. I'm done the main story, but then as soon as the main story is done, they unleash a couple other things on you, and it's like, well, all right, fine, I'll keep playing. But before I do it, I got to figure out how to get myself a Master Ball, because I'm pretty sure you can get yourself like up to 3 of them in this game. And I gotta go find myself some Master Balls before I dive into these next crucial events, I think. But alas, the people are here for us to talk about Star Wars Visions. And so before we talk about the spoilers within each episodes themselves, I want to know everybody's history with the series. What are their thoughts? Klein, for you specifically, I want to go to you first because I know this is a series that holds a special place in your heart.
Yeah. Thomas kind of teed it up from this top here. Star Wars Visions is my favorite Star Wars project of all time. I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to completely caveat the hell out of that. I don't think it's by any means the best Star Wars project of all time. I would put Andor above it. I would put so many movies, so many TV shows. But for me, it is the perfect definition of what the creative infinity, the creative possibility that the Star Wars universe like really represents. And it is just such a weird, unique experience or experiment that I can't believe exists from a franchise on the scale of Star Wars and a franchise as big of a cash cow as it is for them to take a chance on something like this. And now for us to have gotten 3 seasons of it is just like kind of gobsmacking to me. So like, I loved season 1, was kind of blown away by how much I loved some of those episodes. I think season 2 was a step up. We went international. They completely changed the way that they did things a little bit, where instead of just Japanese studios, they were from all over the world, and we got some fun stuff that way. But like, to put it plainly, I adore the show. I hope we get so much more. I can guarantee you it doesn't make Disney money, which is why it's so surprising to me that we're even getting so much of it. But it is just like so amazing that we get this like unique creative thing set in a franchise like this, that I could never see Marvel doing something like this. I could never see DC doing something like this. Like, this is something that it feels like an anomaly that it actually exists. And so I'm just going to keep like championing it from the top of my soapbox.
It would be interesting in living in a day and age where we're looking at box office, and this is something you guys talk about a lot on the Reckless Rebellion podcast, is the state of Star Wars box office at going forward right now and in the past. It would be so interesting if saying Star Wars Visions is successful from a viewership standpoint, and you look at what's working at the box office right now with Demon Slayer and Chainsaw Man, and any anime movie that's getting put out right now is just making a shit ton of money. Maybe they go, all right, Star Wars anime movie, let's do it. Put one in the canon, put one in the box office. There's your make it the Miyazaki movie you guys talked about on the
that's the dream. That's the dream, TJ. The only thing I'd say to that though is Lord of the Rings just did it, and it came and went like a complete, just like a wet fart. Like, it was just like, it meant nothing. It fell dead flat on its face. So yeah, like, Chainsaw Man is making a lot of money and Demon Slayer is making a lot of money. I don't know if a Star Wars anime movie is really gonna like blow the tops off of anyone.
Yeah,
I do think one of the reasons that these anime movies are so successful is that it is a new novelty. It's like, oh, anime fans have spent years investing their lives into a show. Now they get to go see something on the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it. I think that is a large contributor. But Thomas, what have been your thoughts on Star Wars Visions as a series? And, feel free to lead into spoiler-free thoughts on season 3.
I have thoroughly enjoyed Visions from the beginning. I believe I did the math yesterday. It dropped either 1 or 2 months prior to our first episode recording of Reckless Rebellion. So we'd watched it, and then I know for a fact it was talked about in our group chat back then, way back in the before times of the rebellion. But I really, really enjoyed season 1. I don't remember how I felt on season 2 fully, but season 3, man. This might be some of the best Star Wars we've ever gotten in the history of this franchise. And that's saying a lot. We're about to encroach on 49 years this upcoming May. And for me, 2025 might subtly be the best year for Star Wars creativity when you have Andor Season 2 and Vision Season 3 coming out the same year. And they are insanely different than what you normally get from Star Wars. There's other stuff that came out this year from Star Wars, but I don't remember it, so I'm not going to talk about it. I'm assuming there was Asajj Ventress content, and that was awesome. And I love Asajj Ventress, but I hate Cad Bane. I don't. But
how dare you talk about the Skeleton Crew that way?
That was not this year. That was end of last year.
It ended this year.
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
Jod Nanawood's story came to a close in 2025.
I guess. When did it end? When did it start? Wasn't it like December
It's like the first week of December, and then it ended like middle of January.
I'm not going to count that, except the finale was pretty awesome. And
Neil got to go back to his bath.
Yeah, he did.
Neil, one of the top 50 characters in all of Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Remind me, Klein, wasn't he ranked higher than most of the Rebels characters?
No, I think he was like number 49.
Oh, okay. Well, still ranked higher than...
I'm here, though.
Hey!
Jack Hughes isn't here. You don't have to have a fake hate on the Rebels agenda.
Look at him.
That's
this is not a hate on the...
Quick
way
to get you kicked off the podcast, Tom.
This is a hate on Jack agenda, okay?
He's not here, so you don't have to do the Rebels hate, because this is a very pro Rebels podcast.
We're a pro Rebels podcast. We're an anti-Jack podcast.
He's one of the hosts.
He's not even the original host. He's not even the original third chair. It was Tombstone Tom. Back to the plot of Visions. This season, I think what makes this season better than the first two is it grabs me in my emotions. There are moments in season one where I'm just like, wow, this is great. Okay, this is a fun story. Wow, this is great. Okay, I guess Toby's an okay character. Okay, wow, that was great. And we're done. Oh, okay, it was kind of a mixed bag. For me, the lowest ranked one of this season, which I'm still kind of up in the air of what it might be, is probably mid to top tier in the other two seasons. That's how good this season is for me. And I didn't cry in season one or season two, but I cried like 3 different times this season. And that's how I know like I'm in love with something. And then you get the final episode, which is maybe the greatest fucking 12 minutes of Star Wars ever. And it's a beautiful example of what's going on in my mind at every moment. Just, I don't need the DMT. I live that way. Sometimes it's the darkness. You got demons chasing you. And other times I'm just chilling on a beach because, you know, Florida man and all that. And that is the beauty of what Star Wars Visions is. And I am praying that we get more visions. I just love you know what? Tell a story. Do whatever you want. And I noticed a lot of fun stuff in this one where I'm like, they're really like, I don't know if they were all told to deal with like, Imperial stuff, but every single one leans deeper into the Empire is taken over, except for one of them. And it's like it's the Republic is taken over. So all have like a very similar, like an underlying theme. So it feels consistent throughout, even though they're very different and very not consistent throughout.
Damon, starting with spoiler-free thoughts, we were texting a little bit about it beforehand. I saw you nodding along to Thomas with a lot of what he was saying. So I know you liked it, but give me your more in-depth thoughts on season 3, spoiler-free.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Star Wars Visions as a whole, it's been very mixed bag. It's either like, oh, that was pretty cool, or that was an episode. And that's a lot of like what season 1 was for me. Like, the Ronin stands out, obviously. It was like visually one of the most unique things that Star Wars has ever done. It's really the only one of the Star Wars Visions that they made like merch for because of how widely like approved it was. They even had like a comic come out for it. So it was cool to like get back into that in this season. And I think one of the reasons this season to me is the best season of Star Wars Visions because it had a couple episodes that were continued stories from season 1. So you already had a little bit of like background knowledge, a little bit of connectivity. And that's always kind of been my struggle with Visions prior to this is I could watch a story and then be like, and I'll never see them ever again. And that is like the end. And it's like, damn, I wish I got a little bit more with them. And we got that in this season, at least with a couple episodes. And even a tease that a season 4 or something is happening because one of them ends with a to be continued, which is great.
Well, we're getting a whole season of just that in 2026. We're getting a ninth
really?
Jedi show. Yeah.
Oh, that's great because that one was one of my favorites of this season. I love that. That's awesome. Love that. So I do agree with TCR. This one, there's a few episodes this season that like got me emotional watching. I was like, damn, they got me in like a 20-minute story. That's impressive. That's good. That's well done. There's like 1 or 2 episodes this season where I'm like, that was like one of the weaker ones. But for the most part, out of the 9, I'd say 7 out of 9, like I give like a 2 thumbs up with. Like the first 4 in particular, like it was like banger, 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 banger. And I really enjoyed it. So I wasn't like really looking forward to this just because I knew how much of a mixed bag the last 2 seasons have been. But this season is easily the best of Star Wars Visions.
I agree that this season was the best, and one of the reasons that helped it was the continuation aspect. Sometimes when there is a really great character introduced in a series of episodes, a series of movies, and we want to see more of that character, it'd be great to see like a hunt for that character.
Let's
Someone like a like a Kylo Ren or a Ben Solo, the hunt for Ben Solo. That'd be something that'd be cool to
It's
see.
got a ring to it, TJ.
We talked about that already. They touch on it on the Reckless Rebellion podcast as well. So for full thoughts on the Axe movie, The Hunt for Ben Solo, feel free to check those ones out. But I will say I agree that this season was the best of Star Wars Visions so far. I think everything about it is so cool. I do have a trouble fully investing in the stories just because, well, I'm not one of those people that it's like, but the canon, it broke the canon. It's interrupting the canon. This boycott the acolyte. Like nothing like that by any means. But I do get extra. One of the reasons I love Star Wars is just because it's this vast, expanding universe that connects in all these mysterious ways. And it's like each Star Wars story project we get is like a different puzzle piece in a massive puzzle that we've been slowly piecing together over the last 50 years. And so one of the things, like even when like a new Star Wars Jedi game, like Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor, when those come out, it's so exciting to me, not just because I get to play a new game, not just because I get to play a new Star Wars game, but because there's new pieces of Star Wars canon that I'm going to learn about. There's new aspects of Star Wars lore that I'm going to find out. I'm getting a new puzzle piece. I'm getting a new puzzle piece that I get to fill in. And so that aspect with the episodes being non-canon, that does take a small piece of like, I'm not as invested in the overall story because there isn't an overall one. It's just these short little snippets. But having said that, they're so cool visually. They're so spectacular. And the stories of this one kept me more engaged than any of the first two seasons so far. And my critique is not even a critique on the series. It's just like a me problem. It's a me problem that affects my viewing of this show at times. And so I'm looking forward to diving into these episodes with you guys. We'll go full spoiler warning for Star Wars Visions right now, not just for Volume 3, but for all of the volumes. And we'll go episode by episode. We'll go episodically. There's 9 of these. However, if you don't have thoughts on one of the episodes, no need to force it. Pass. You don't have to fully pass. You can say one or two things. But there's some of these that I have a lot to say for, some of these that I have not much to say for, and everything and everywhere in between. So we'll go through all of them, but some of these I don't think we'll spend near as much time on as other ones. But we can just give like it was cool, a Damon special, sure, and then just kind of move on to the next one. But let's start with episode 1, The Duel, Payback, bringing us right back from season 2. And it's kind of fun that we get to begin with a continued episode because it just makes you feel like we're back. Oh, we are back. Damon, what did you think of episode 1?
Yeah, it's the Ronin episodes have, as I mentioned, have always been like the most uniquely visual ones of Star Wars Visions, just because of like the black and white aspect, the sketch type of animation style, and then the only color being the lightsabers themselves. You saw that in the very first episode of Visions in season 1, episode 1, and it just continued here. I think the coolest thing about just Visions as a whole, but specifically like an episode like this, where there's like no limits to what like a lightsaber can be, whether it's like a split R9 finger thing and it's crazy, or it's like, oh, it's a peg leg lightsaber, hell yeah. Like you get some really wild visuals in it. And also just like the story itself is cool. It took me a little bit to like get back into it just because I'm like, all right, I feel like a lot happened and I don't remember jack. So it takes a little bit for me to like catch up with the story, but the visuals are always sweet. And the final fight before like the final fight, which is like the cliffhanger in the end, is just so visually incredible and creative. I loved it.
Fine. How about you? The Duel, Payback. Give me your thoughts.
I don't think this one was as cool as the first duel, just because that was such a that was our introduction to the Visions world, and it was so unique and so completely different. And I think that like the reveal of color in that first episode was something so special, because it was just like him unsheathing the lightsaber, and so this, like, you can't do that twice. So this to me was very much like, oh, like, we're back, we're enjoying it. Don't really have too deep thoughts. I will say something that I said over on Reckless Rebellion during our review. Somebody at Lucasfilm needs to be taking notes of cool ideas from these shows, or from the Visions shorts, and they need to bring them into canon. Back to Hot Spring, one of those ideas. Make that a thing. That is such a cool idea. That is so cool. Also, the villain in this, his force power, where he's like dashing and all you see is the outline of him, the dopest shit ever. Just like, let me hang that in the Louvre, please.
Just don't let it
So
get
many
stolen.
cool ideas in this episode, and the thing that I want to see the most is, I feel like it would just be perfect for an episode of Rebels or an episode of the Clone Wars, something like that, where they get to a new planet, a new location, and there's just this big, imposing, terrifying voice coming from a set of speakers, and it's just a little Anzellan with a microphone and a voice altering microphone. I love that. I thought that was
Love
so
him.
funny and silly. I love the Anzellan so much. There are a few lines, like the last time I was on the Reckless Rebellion podcast, we were drafting the best lines in all of Star Wars, and I am so upset that I didn't nominate "Bad Baby," because that might be number one. That might be number one. TCR, what did you think of the dual payback?
I enjoyed
I
it.
just got PTSD from all the stupid things
Oh,
I
God.
nominated in that draft.
Never forget, a shirtless Thomas got called and showed up to that. Classic. The classic time. I enjoyed the dual payback. I don't know if I enjoyed it more than the first one. But what I really liked about this, and, I had Aaron Perrine sent me a link earlier this morning from Polygon, talking about how an episode of Star Wars Visions correlates back and kind of reinforces something the Acolyte was saying. And I was like, oh, how does this tie together? And they straight up mention something that I mentioned on our show, which is the villain is very Darth Vader-like. Excuse me, the antagonist, because he's a Jedi in this episode, but he's very Darth Vader-like, more machine than man now. And to the point that he's got Darth Maul robot legs. He's got robot half face, robot arms, and he's just kind of on a different level of existence because he's so mechanical. And he's so consumed by his vengeance that he really is more dark side than light side at this point, which is a beautiful juxtaposition with our main protagonist, who is more light side than dark side these days. He's following, just the order of law, finding that balance. And the article talks about how that is expanding upon how the Jedi lost their way. And what the Acolyte was doing was telling us that they lost their way, and that there's potential that what Chimere was saying, even though he's doing these bad things, he's doing them to survive. And it's like, okay, well, what the Jedi is doing is he's doing bad things, it seems, but he's doing it out of vengeance. Meanwhile, the Ronin is doing bad things to survive and taking the crystals of bad guys along the way. So I enjoyed that. Got to get the Acolyte in there somehow. But one of my favorite visuals from Visions will be how they display the force speed. If just like he's outlined and it's like real shaky like, and he's moving so fast that he's just like an unfilled in outline. It's so cool. It's so cool to watch. Yeah, I liked it. It was fun. I could go for a third. It did make me want to read the book. That's always a good sign.
Don't bring up the Acolyte, because it just makes me feel more terrible that we're not getting a season 2 after Leslie Headland's comments from the art book. Again, listening
It's
to
a friend, TJ. He's gonna be the first one. Don't you know? It's so exciting.
Klein, because I'll give I'm not gonna, I might as well throw it to you guys because I didn't hear this until I just was listening to the Reckless Rebellion podcast, listening up to this show. I was listening to the most recent episode, and so I'm assuming Damon hadn't heard the news. So feel free to break that news to our listeners as well.
Oh, the art book news.
Yeah.
So basically, an art book for the Acolyte is coming out in January. Some Amazon previews of the book went up over the past couple of days, including snippets of pages. Some of them have since been taken down. You can't find them anywhere, but boy, oh boy, did the internet clip those quotes, because Leslie Headland confirmed that the plan was Kymir was going to be the first Knight of Ren.
We lost
David.
so much. We lost so much. Okay. If the complaint of this show and the real reason why it wasn't continued is because of budget, could we make it animated just to like keep that story going? But that's I know this is a Visions thing. It is animation adjacent, but
I know. TCR will continue this snake order of talking about the episodes and talk to me about episode 2, where the Song of Four Wings. It's a fun one with cool animation, and it delivers us a cutie little baby that I love so much and would do anything to protect.
The best part about this episode for me is the cute little baby guy. I keep forgetting that he's in this episode. I think this might be my least favorite episode. And again, to remind you of what I said at the very beginning, this would be like probably top 3 in any of the other 2 seasons. Like, that's how good this season is. Like, they can't all be number 1. And so in terms of favorite, I think this is lower on, but it's probably still a 7 or 8 out of 10. Like, it's so good. Klein was reminding me of things last night, which I'm sure he'll mention again. The little wee woo guy, I don't remember his name. Whoopas, adorable, made me tear up, made me miss my girlfriend's dogs, which I had just gotten home from spending time with them, and I got home and I'm just like, oh, I need a dog to cuddle while I watch this. Also, Human Gundam, sick.
It was really, really cool. I actually think this was one of my favorite episodes. I really like the animation in this one. It was animation, not that I thought it was so cool and unique like a lot of these were, but it was an animation, like, yeah, cool, yes, not as unique as some of the animation styles and art in some of these episodes, but it felt like one to me that it was like, okay, I could watch a whole series of this. I could watch a whole series within this animation, and I would really, really like it. Also, shout out to Stephanie Sue, one of my favorite actors in this one as well. Yeah,
I didn't know that was her.
that was Stephanie Sue.
Damn.
There are some like really, really great cast members in Star Wars Visions next year. Like there's a really, really like some big names that pop up. Damon, the Song of Four Wings, Klein, the Song of Four Wings. What'd you think?
This is my number 1. I don't know if we're doing favorite episodes. This is my number 1. This is my favorite episode of the 3 seasons so far. This is, if you were to define the most Klein shit ever, what does Klein love? Synthy-ass music. We got it. What else does Klein love? Bubbly anime art. We got it for sure. What does Klein like to do in his free time? Sometimes I just go on Google Images. I'll just type in the word Gundam and just look and just scroll. I've never seen a Gundam TV show in my life. Cool ass pieces of armor that people sit inside. That's sick. That's the cool, like, that's awesome. So this episode for me is like injected into my veins. It's the only Star Wars Vision episode. I've now watched it 3 times. I watched it immediately after watching episode 9, which we'll get to later, because I simply needed a come down. I'm like, I feel like I just went through something and I need like some bubble gum. And that's what this like episode 2 provides for me. Whoop-ass, adorable. Just add him to the adorable little guy Star Wars canon. There's so many good names in there, but he is in there for sure. The Torchu armor mode activate, sick, incredible. We love to see that. And the return of perhaps one of the greatest inventions of the Star Wars prequels, the seismic charge. Come on. The coolest sound effect in the entire Star Wars galaxy. Yeah, Song of Four Wings. I'm with you, TJ. I would watch 5 seasons of this. Like, I give this to me every week, every Saturday with a big bowl of sugary cereal, and I will be there.
Couldn't agree more. Damon, Song of Four Wings, what'd you think?
I think this is the most Star Wars of all of the episodes, where it just kind of hit a little bit of everything. We're up against the Empire. Here's a cute little fluffy guy. Oh, the stormtroopers can't aim to save their life. And then one lucky shot, or at least in this times, a couple of lucky shots. Everything about this I really enjoyed. I totally agree with the art style. I think this was just a very clean animation, where like a lot of the other experimental animation types, specifically with like the Ronin the Duel, is very visually pleasing and like fascinating to look at. I don't know if I could watch more than like 30 minutes at a time of it before my like eyes would start to hurt a little bit. But this is like a very clean animation. I really like this one. I thought this was a great follow-up.
Also, a very quick shout out, music done by former member of the band D Light from the 1990s, who you may remember from the hit single Groove is in the Heart. Great stuff. Fantastic work.
Grooves in the heart, yeah. I had to
Do it
get some
again.
kind of vocal stimulation in there since there wasn't really a retro recap to do for Star Wars Vision, since it's an anthology. I didn't get to do that this time. I didn't get to make a fool of myself, and so what was I needed to add some kind of thing in there. The ninth Jedi, Child of Hope. Damon, this is the one that is to be continued, and this is the one that we are going to get a whole season of, which I honestly didn't realize either until
Next
again,
year.
17th shout out to the Reckless Rebellion podcast of the show. Go listen for all your Star Wars fix every week. I'm still I'm pining, I'm plugging, I'm trying to, what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm protesting. I got a second episode a week. I need a second episode of the Reckless Rebellion a week because
God.
I'm working from home. I'm sitting doing nothing, and
So is Star
I'm
Wars.
listening to a lot of podcasts. And so I want more of
TJ,
my favorite
if you can
podcasts.
personally finance that to make it happen, we're all yours.
Don't give him any ideas.
I don't know about financing, but I could show up. I'll be there.
I don't think your presence is a form of payment. I'm going to be honest.
Either cheering on from the background or on the show, whatever you need. But I mean, I enjoy it, you guys. I love listening to you guys. It's a bright spot in my week every single week. But that's how I found out that this show was getting a season of television all for itself. When I saw To Be Continued, I assumed it was just going to be like another episode in the next season of Visions. Damon, what'd you think about the Ninth Jedi, Child of Hope? We get our sweet little Teto in this one.
Yeah, I think this may be my favorite of this season. Maybe it's like one or two. I really liked it. You gave me a really cool character. You put her in a situation with a really lovable droid. You pull at the heartstrings a bit with the lovable droid, and you give her a bit of a tragic backstory too. You make me really sad, and I'm really gonna like it. That's kind of my thing. There's TCR agrees, or he agrees.
just
Yeah,
rip
you
my
make me
heart
really
out.
sad, and I think I'm gonna like it. So I thought that was really well done. I really liked Kara as a character too. I thought she was like really relatable, a really fairly well written character for the amount of time that we've seen her with. And Teto, Teto, he
The
was
eyebrows.
Wally. It's
Yeah.
Wally, guys. We got Star Wars Wally, and well, R.I.P. Star Wars Wally. He's dead, and that made me sad. But he did everything he could for his master, and then he's like, "Oh well, my job is done. I'm gonna just try to get her out of here. Oh, my job's done again. Time to go." It's like I really, really, really enjoyed this one. I thought the animation on it was also really good. I can absolutely watch an entire season of this animation, so I'm excited that seemingly it will be the same animation people, the same creative team. So yeah, I really liked it, man. I thought this one was good.
When I was watching this and I saw the to be continued, and I'm watching her run around with Tetsuo, I really thought, wow, this would be fun to be continued in a video game. This would make a really, really good video game going forward. And you basically just use the same like BD mechanics from the Jedi games. You could just
What I
make it
was
work.
thinking.
Klein, Ninth Jedi, Child of Hope. We got our guy from the MCU, Simu Liu, in this one. What'd you think?
I loved the first Ninth Jedi. I loved the second Ninth Jedi. I do think that this is like in the middle of my ranking, but I'm very excited for like a full season of this. The one note that I have for this episode in particular, and like the season overall, but this episode specifically, the music was so John Williams without being John Williams that I am like, the future of Star Wars music is very bright because like the music in this episode specifically is so well composed and super well orchestrated, and it had that John Williams spirit, which is a very hard thing to capture, yet it did. And so shout out to that.
Comments, thoughts on Ninth Jedi, Child of Hope?
Tito, our guy, our god, our legend, our boy. R.I.P. man. Like you talk about making a man sad, you kill a cute droid. And I mean, he didn't really die. I mean, I think he wasn't there at the end, so there's potential that he didn't die.
We didn't see a body.
We didn't see a body. You know what I'm saying? It's hard.
Do droids ever die?
Their battery does.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, just go pick up that memory card, whatever, sitting inside his head, and plug it in elsewhere.
I thoroughly enjoyed this one. I made a comment yesterday, and the more I sit on that comment, I don't know how I feel. I don't remember the full comment. I think it was I'm less excited for the series than I was coming into this episode. I don't know. I don't remember if that was a comment, but I feel like that's a little bit wrong. And it was a little lower on my rankings too, but I think it's risen up with more time. I mean, again, I forgot about Tito, like my boyo. Really good, really fun. I'm ready for the next one.
Episode 4, The Bounty Hunters. This is one that I don't have many notes for, but that is not because I didn't enjoy this episode. I thought it was really, really fun. But my notes were that the droid was so fucking cool. These little swaps back and forth of this like cool ass weapons droid, absolutely awesome. Voice acting in this episode I thought was great. We had Anna Sawai from Shogun. We had Ronnie Chang as the droid, just doing an absolutely incredible job. We had Jodie Turner-Smith, Justice for the Acolyte, and I don't know if you've ever seen this woman on a red carpet, but my God, that has to be Storm in the MCU when they eventually cast Storm in the MCU. Damon. Or sorry, TCR. We're reverse order this one. TCR, the Bounty Hunters. I don't have many thoughts, but I really wanted to emphasize those parts.
The droid, super fucking cool. When it gets to a certain point and they do the thing with the droid, I'm not aware that it's gonna like that the other personality is still usable. So that was a fun little twist reveal at the end that I didn't see coming. I was like, well, I don't know how she's getting out of this. And then it happens and I go, oh yeah. And then the more I sit back and think about it, I'm like, how does that work? It's technically one body. So did she only hit one microchip? But like, anyways, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I enjoyed this. I really liked the question of morality. And I also enjoyed the commentary on how is the como se dice, the commentary on tyranny, I think is a good way to put it. He's saying, I'm giving these people all this stuff, I'm giving them this, and I honestly think in his mind he really is looking at it that way, and in their minds they're slaves. It's the same. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's the same thing, but it's very similar to the Pord Act, where it's like, you're a criminal, you're going to prison, and then it's like, haha, you're in prison, your time's up, you're never getting out, so we're just going to shift you over here and then kill everyone. That's kind of the vibe that I was getting from it, and I enjoyed... There's layers to this one that I'm like, I could see a sequel, and I kind of want a sequel. Like, I think this one's probably in the middle of my rankings, just based on vibes alone and memory. But it's one of those ones where I'm like, I'd like to see more of that universe.
Klein, how about you?
I'm not going to be nearly as insightful as Thomas. I thought the main character was pretty quite you know. I like the mask. I like the ponytail. I like the look, and also Droideka mech. I mean, come on.
Oh, that's a good point. I forgot about that.
Damon, how about you? Any thoughts on the bounty hunters?
I'll finish the point for Klein. If honest to God, if you just gave her a hood and put some purple in there, like I'm fully sold. But yeah,
It was the
give
mask
me-
did a lot. The mask,
the mask does a lot, man.
and the armor she is so cool. Oh my god.
Yep, it does a lot. I really like Star Wars Baymax. He's a cool guy. It's kind of essentially what he is. He was a healing droid and then turned into superhero smuggler assassin. Star Wars Baymax. It even has like the Big Hero 6 aspect where the face turns. Different robot, but same idea. So there's some cool ideas in there. It brought back something that I totally was like forgotten in the back of my mind, which is like from an episode of Clone Wars where you have to like slowly drop the little grenade in the force field, the force bubble, in order for it to go through. I was like, oh, that's a great callback because I haven't even thought of that in years. So there's a few things in these episodes where it's like the writers of these anthologies are clearly huge Star Wars fans because they'll draw back something as small as that in order to, have the big climax to the story. So I thought that was really cool. I really like this one. I think this was the episode, TJ, where I was just like, man, is this season just full of bangers?
Yeah. Shout out the Saw Gerrera episode you're talking about too, by the way.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
And it kind of is full of bangers this season because I we'll get to it when we get to the episode I'm referring to, but there's been something alluded to on this podcast that I had the totally opposite take for, and then I realized as I was watching one of the episodes that I kind of think I had a little bit of Star Wars Visions fatigue at that point, and I should have taken a break, but I was just trying to hustle through to get my review done. And I was tired and maybe didn't give one of the episodes as much of attention as I should have, but we'll get there a little bit later on. For now, it's Yuko's Treasure, Damon, and we return to Tatooine. What did you think about this one?
For me, this is the one where I was like, maybe it's not full of bangers. And I feel like I'm going to be hated for this because this is essentially Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Just a little mini episode of it in so many ways. And I didn't dislike it, but I'm like, I feel like I've seen a lot of this before and I had a lot of the same beats. A lot of the same beats.
But the bear has an easy bake oven in his tummy. What more could you want?
It's a bear droid.
It's a bear droid, but we had a pirate droid that also at one point was like, I'm evil now. And I'm like, oh no. And then it's like, I'm good again. I'm like, we had a lot of the same beats.
And it was Darth Bear. He was cute.
This one was not my favorite, but I did think elements of it were cute.
I did not realize until an embarrassingly long way into this episode that the bear was a droid. And I thought it was just like a big fuzzy man. And I thought he was so sweet and so cute. And then I thought he was a droid and I was more excited. And then the droid turned into a big killer bear bot. And I was like, holy shit, it's a big killer bear bot. And so I actually had a lot of fun this episode. And I couldn't help but think about like, Steve Buscemi, why are you here? Why is Steve Buscemi here? Klein, what did you think about Yuko's Treasure?
I thought this episode for me reminded me most of the like kind of anime cartoons I watched at like 7, 8, 9 years old. Like it's giving Digimon. It feels just like the art style is very. I used to watch a show called Metabots that like this looks very similar to.
I've never met anybody else that has watched Metabots. You know how many people I've asked if they watch Metabots too, and nobody says yes?
Metabots is the show that I am like, was that real or did I dream it? But I had toys, like it was for sure 100% real. And again, there we go. That's ground floor for Klein's love of just big robotic things. I really liked Yuko's treasure. I think that this bear is adorable. This is the one that did make me cry at the end. These two main characters are adorable. I kind of found Steve Buscemi's Wolfman like kind of sexy. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Fucking knew it.
I liked his weird blue sidekick too, with the weird, like the round nose. He was fun.
The Triceratops.
Yeah, his head kind of looked like a goldfish cracker. This was good stuff. Like it's cute, it's adorable. This is like, it's not going to change the world, but it is like a delectable snack that I get to enjoy that is like lightly Star Wars coded.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk about visions for the rest of the episode.
Metabots. When do we start Metabots rewatch podcast? When's that happening?
God, I would do it. I would do it for sure. Do you know how many times I've spent, like, I used to have a really nice backyard as a kid, and we moved around a lot. So, in like one of the places was we had a really nice backyard, and I had a trampoline in the backyard.
What?
And I spent so many times just like hanging out with my imagination, fighting on the trampoline with like my pretend Metabot and another pretend Metabot that I would like design in my brain. With,
robots
like,
have never looked cooler. Those action figures, you could take the heads, the arms, and the legs off to like combine the different pieces. It's Metabots rocks.
Did you ever play the GameCube game?
No, I didn't. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know the GameCube game. There was a Game Boy Advance game as well. I didn't have it. My neighbor across we had this like green patch behind our house. They had it, and so I'd go over there and play it. Man.
If either next time I'm in BC or you're in Saskatchewan, I have the game. We'll link up and have a real nice GameCube session, because I feel like there's a lot of those we can go through and have a really fun time with. But TCR, give me your thoughts on Yuko's treasure.
I think I watched Metabots also. It was definitely during a time period that I was watching Fox Kids, aka pretty much until Fox Kids died. So there's that. It looks kind of familiar. I don't know, man. Anyways, moving on. I love Yuko's treasure. It's in my top 3 easily. You make a lot of good points, Damon, about it rehashing Skeleton Crew. So I get why you don't like it like that. You're not as high on it like that. I do get that. And I'll be honest, there's a lot of stuff in this season and this season specifically where I'm like, I feel like we've seen some of this in Star Wars, but I think that's kind of something that works for me. The plot beats being almost 1 for 1. Yeah, I get that. I didn't think about it at the time, but it's very similar. And thinking about it, it doesn't even budge it off at all. Like, I'm just like, I don't care about those elements. The core story is different enough, but the core story is also so tight, and it's about it's about family legacy. And somebody with older parents, my parents will never hear this, so the fact that I'm calling them older, they're never going to be upset about. But also, my family history is not making it to the 70s in age frame, so both of my parents are edging upon that time frame. So it's just like, oh, wow. And then you see, it's like, oh, my God, are you giving a ship? Like, best birthday ever. And I'm over here just like, this one, I teared up in place. This one, I was like almost full blown sobbing, had to pause, had to walk away, come back to finish the episode, to cry more. And this is the episode where I was like, oh my God, I think there's way more emotion going on overall in this entire season, and I think it's going to be my favorite season. Would I call Yuko's treasure a straight up banger? No, but I think it might be the most emotional episode of them all, at least for me, and tapping into my fun emotions.
You heard it here first, everybody. Thomas's parents were edging.
Oh,
episode
God.
6, the Lost One. The Lost One. This is one of my favorite episodes of the season. Of the volume, I guess. I didn't rank them, but this was one of the ones that if I could picture in my head, what if they made Star Wars anime? This would basically be that episode of just like former master falls to the dark side. You have to fight them. Maybe it's because my favorite Star Wars thing ever is the season 2 finale of Rebels, and this mimics some aspects of that. I think that's why I like it so much. But we have Karen Fukuhara, who of course is in The Boys, in voicing a character in this one. We have Mark Strong, Ryan Potter. Like, it's a real strong voice cast, and I thought this was the one that just felt the most Star Wars of everything. I'm gonna switch up my snake and just say, Klein, you got to go first this time. No middling and waiting to hear somebody's thoughts for you. First thoughts. What did you think about The Lost Ones?
This one's kind of in the middle of the pack for me. I really enjoyed it, and there were some really cool ideas in it. I think it's beautiful. Like, this is stunning. Some of the prettiest Star Wars that like has ever existed. And you want to talk about ideas that Lucasfilm needs to steal to bring into canon? Carbonite storms. What a cool idea. Like, such a unique and visually distinctive thing that you see this like family frozen in carbonite. You're like, what happens? They're like, a storm is coming, and then you realize what's going on. It's like, oh, that is so cool. A sandstorm that can literally freeze people in time. Really, really cool Star Wars stuff.
Damon, The Lost Ones, what'd you think?
I thought this one had some really cool ideas. I don't know if they fully kind of like made it pay off in the end, but there's like some little moments here. Like, there's little kids when they're on the ship and they're like, I was always told that the Jedi were responsible and I want to join the Empire type of thing. And I'm like, oh man, that's such a little kid being taught how to believe in a certain way type of thing that I would actually kind of like to see a little bit more of in Star Wars, of like the former Empire kid to be like, oh, we're the bad guys type of thing, right? Like, that's something I like to see a little bit more of in Star Wars. I think that would be like a really cool series. The final fight is gorgeous. I kind of have no idea what was going on. I'm like, I don't really know why they're like in this like virtual thing with the former. I don't know. There was like some really confusing stuff for me when I was watching this, but I thought it was gorgeous. And even the flashback, where the flashback was just like a nice little drawing, like frame by frame animation stuff, I thought that was gorgeous.
This was another sequel, if you didn't realize as well.
I did not know this was a
sequel. This was the sequel to Village Bride from season 1.
Oh, okay.
This one I thought was so cool as well because of that aspect, Damon, that you were talking about, how these are like kids that have already begun being indoctrinated into believing in the Empire, believing in the propaganda they're being told. And Damon, every episode I do, what's the one thing I got to bring up once per episode?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Avatar: The Last Airbender once every episode, and it reminded me of two of the most powerful episodes in that entire series. And that is one when Aang goes to school in the Fire Nation, and he's realizing that, like, oh, these kids are just kids, and they're being taught the Footloose episode. They're being taught some very different things than what is true. The truth they are being taught in school, in the history in their textbooks, is not what really has happened. This is some Fire Nation propaganda. And on the reverse side of things, it's when Zuko goes on his own and he's spending some time in an Earth Kingdom village, and he makes friends with the family. He saves the family. He saves the whole village from these, I don't know, goons who were trying to take over. But it doesn't matter as soon, and they love him. They adore him. But the second they find out where he's from and who he is, they hate him because of everything that nation has done to their people. And that's kind of what this reminded me of, where it's like, hey, this is a kid's project, but it's making you think. It is making you think. And it's one of the things that like links, some people have the false perception that anything animated is for kids. And when it's done properly, even if it is a kids animated project, it can be for everyone with the way they tackle these themes. And that's what that kind of felt like an example of to me. TCR, The Lost Ones. What do you think?
I really did enjoy. This was the final one I watched Wednesday night, so I was tired. I did not realize while I was watching it was the Village Bride sequel. I was just having fun. It starts off and it has a solid Back to the Future reference. I don't. Klein didn't catch it. I confirmed with him last night. He did not catch the Back to the Future reference, which is then a reference upon Star Wars. In the beginning, when he's in the hazmat suit, green hair guy, or I guess it was green hair guy. He's in the hazmat suit. He plugs something in, and in the Back to the Future, he has the tape recorder. He puts in the thing. He presses the button and points it forward. And then Metallica plays in George's ears, and he wakes him up. He's like, "I'm Darth Vader from the planet Liberty Bibberty, and you must do this." Blah blah blah. And so he thinks it's a dream. It's the exact same frame by frame version of that until a certain point. And I think music even kicks up. And that's my one note that I wrote down was, "Oh, shout out to the Back to the Future reference." So David will eventually watch this. And this will be his favorite moment in everything because it references his favorite franchise his favorite incest-related franchise. Damon, that was yeah. He and I get in an argument about Back to the Future 1's quality because of the kiss of it all. Mom's weird. Anyways, this episode is really good. I love the visuals. I love the design, the art of this one. It's absolutely stunning. When we get to the end and we get the lightsaber fight, it is, oh yeah, man, it's so good. I don't know how to like properly put over how good the animation is, even in a hyperbolic way. Like everything that I've thought of just doesn't do it justice. What I can say is just go watch it. Just go watch. Even if you're not invested in the whole thing, go watch the final fight. Once they get inside that room, that's it. Like, it's it. That's the whole rest of the episode, except for a couple cutaways. Absolutely worth every second of it. It is so good. It was confusing. It was making me think, and it was blowing my eyeballs out of my head with beautiful art. That's the goal.
Episode 7, The Smuggler, was one I thought was super interesting because I wasn't overly intrigued off the bat. And then with each passing minute, I was kind of like, oh, is she smuggling out the prince? Oh, is the prince a Jedi? Oh, the person with the prince is a Jedi? Oh, the lightsaber's coming out of her arm. Like with each passing minute, it was like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. This is really cool. TCR, what do you think of The Smuggler?
It is a mild inversion of A New Hope. This is A New Hope. This is the same story, almost. We end at Yavin. Yeet. I love how they get, we've got a smuggler and a royal person, and the smuggler's got to get the royal person out. Instead of a princess, it's a prince. And there is a Jedi elder involved instead of Obi-Wan. It's Glorn? Steve? I don't remember the lady's name. Glada?
It was Steve.
It was Steve. I knew it was a Steve. So Steve turns out to be like half robot maybe, and just has, inside of the forearm is an absolute banger of a lightsaber hilt. And I don't know if the prince is a Jedi. That's my favorite part of this. He might be. It implies that he is, but at the same time, it also is just like, he might just be really good at fighting. So he caught them all off guard, right? All those good things. And now, again, right before I went to bed, so I need to rewatch. Or this one, no, Smuggler was first one that I watched, but it was at work, so don't tell the government. I really enjoyed this episode, and I know I said Yuko's Treasure is probably in my top 3, but The Smuggler's potentially also in my top 3. It's those two that are really fighting for the third spot, and it's also the second highest rated episode in this season behind The Ninth Jedi Child of Hope and The Duel Payback. It's the highest rated original episode. And The Lost Ones is behind it at 7.5, and the rest of them are not close to a 7.6. So it's really interesting how this one went, like, is being received. And another one that just ends, and I go, I want more of that universe, please. I mean, we made it to Yavin. I lost it when we were at Yavin. I was like, wait, what? Oh shit, we're like in Yavin. Okay, all right. And one thing that I want to say, because we're here and what we're about to get to is very like off the rails from what could be considered canon. In my opinion, every single thing we've seen in this season, other than the dual payback, to this point, there's nothing that breaks canon. It is all one of those Legends vibe where they could, if they wanted to, pull this into the canon. And the Smuggler, I think, is a beautiful, amazing example of that. Because, like, they did everything they could to be like, all right, let's just tell a story in Star Wars and not worry about the main characters that we all know and love. But we're going to do the same things inside of the universe that you might know and love. And they do that so well that it's just like, I mean, I could see Luke Skywalker showing up in this universe so easily. And I think a lot of what they do throughout this season, again, other than the dual payback, and maybe the Song of Four Wings, or the whole Gundam of it all, I think they could all be tied into the universe. And for me, I know people are like, the Ninth Jedi, how could that? That's the future. When I first saw that, I was like, this is the future. This is that time when it's like the Jedi are myth, but there are dark side users out there who are aware. Anyways, I digest. I loved it. It's a Family Guy reference.
I digest. Making Klein go last this time. Damon, what do you think of The Smuggler? You are muted.
Really, 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 really like this episode. This was like another classic Star Wars doing the Star Wars, man. And I completely agree with TCR's point because I was going to bring it up as well. This just feels like something that they could so easily just bring into main canon. They even have like an entire intro at the very beginning, be like, here's this planet, here's this planet, here's how they kind of like lined up when Palpatine took over, and play. And I'm like, cool, yeah, no, everything here, like, it's a big galaxy, boys and girls, and this can so easily happen.
Really quick, you talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender. When this episode started, I was feeling a lot of Avatar vibes, from the art style to the design of the royal family. I was just like,
To the we're a fascist country, a fascist organization hunting a small child.
Yeah, exactly.
Glinda also, or I think her name is Glinda. She just
Steve.
looks like a Steve. Yeah, she just looks like a Pokemon gym leader. By the way, I don't know.
Yeah,
how
she's a ghost type gym leader for sure.
Exactly. I'm like, I don't know how else I could explain how she looks into that, but she just does. She looks like you could pick her up, put her into any region in the Pokemon universe, and she just fits. Fun episode. There was nothing really here that was like, oh, that's super surprising, other than I didn't see her being a Jedi coming, which I should have, because it feels kind of obvious in the end, but I was so like, oh, she's just like a royal guard. Oh my god, she has a lightsaber.
The Smuggler and Prince Arlu are 2 stars from what 2 hit Netflix shows?
One is Wednesday because I just
yeah.
seen it, and the other is Cobra Kai because I also just seen it on IMDb.
Nailed it. Way to ruin the game, Thomas.
I cheated! Cheat to win! America!
That's not very nice.
Emma Myers and Tanner Buchanan, Cobra Kai, and Wednesday. Kleino the Dino, what'd you think of The Smuggler?
The only thing that I'll say that hasn't really been said is that this is one of the only episodes in the entire series, and we've gotten a couple episodes from this team before, but that I've known who the animation studio was beforehand, because I love Studio Trigger stuff. I think Kill la Kill is like one of the best anime of the last 25 years. Cyberpunk Edge Runners is great. Delicious in Dungeon is fantastic. And they just have such a unique style that I think when I think Star Wars Visions, like I think of the Trigger House style, and I think of just like that they could perfectly graft what they do into the Star Wars world. And that's what, like, this is just another example of that, and a completely different setting than what they've done before, but just still it feels so natural and so like ready for a full series order if that were to ever come.
Yeah, and they've done previously the twins in season 1, and the Elder also in season 1, which this one leans more towards the Elder, but with similar plot vibes of the twins, where they bring the kids.
If you haven't watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners on Netflix, you don't need any like context to the games or world or anything. It's one of the best sci-fi stories of the last, I don't even know, like it's very long time. It's super good, and it's the same team.
The Bird of Paradise. This one I thought had some really, really cool animation. This had a few stills that of just like when I was picking out like some photos for my article, I felt like I wanted to use 3 or 4 just from this episode. It was so beautiful. Klein, starting with you, what'd you think of Bird of Paradise?
I thought this was, you want to talk like the more like not overt storytelling, but like deeper meanings of these episodes. I thought this is like one of the stronger of the Visions experiment. It's an amazing story of like accepting one's new reality. In this case, it is like losing somebody's vision and realizing over the course of a couple of days that like it isn't the end of something, but the beginning of something new. And it also kind of recontextualizes what it means to be a Jedi for a lot of people. I think for a lot of people, they think a Jedi is somebody who is 100% closed off to emotions and is very against that inner demon, against that darker evil thing that does lurk within all of us. But I've never really believed that. I think that it is more, they are more accepting of every part of themselves and are willing to let all of those pieces come together to become a whole, whereas the dark side is when you lean into that other side and you let it win. And I just thought the way that those kind of tonal maturations then presented themselves in a visual way and a like narrative way from day to day to day to day, it was like super effective. And shout out George Takei. Love that we got him as a weird spirit frog. And as you said, TJ, just like some of the like, this is like every frame's a painting sort of thing. Like you could just like freeze frame any point in this episode and just like put it up on a wall somewhere.
Some of the visualizations of her blindness were really, really cool as well. TCR, what do you think of the Bird of Paradise?
I think this is visually the most beautiful Star Wars has ever been. I enjoyed the plot utilization, the narrative device of the interstitials to tell you, you know, day has progressed. Now we have
Bong.
day
4.
And then it's like, then you have like a Clone Warsian quote kind of come up that kind of hints about what's going to be happening next on this journey as well. But overall, you know, you talk about all the Jedi, but like I'm going to bring it in personal. It's a beautiful exploration of death as well as our emotions, and we must accept our fears to absolve them of control over our lives. And what we don't accept will linger with us and cause us to stray from the path. And I didn't really think about this until right now, but it's also an exploration of self-forgiveness in a way as well. Because when you deny something, you are rejecting it. You're not accepting it, right? But you're also often judging yourself for it. And to accept it means you must forgive yourself in the past for feeling that way And I just think this is surprisingly, Klein. This is one of my favorites, and the Song of Four Wings is your favorite of this season, and they're both the lowest, tied at 6.7 for like rated on IMDb, which we all know is fake anyway, so who cares? But it's very interesting that Bird of Paradise is not, and I think it's because it doesn't have like all this crazy action, and it's very, very samurai story inspired. It's done in a, if there's one thing I know about some Star Wars fans, they don't always enjoy a good introspection. And this episode is part one of a 2-part finale for me of this season, excuse me, that is nothing but self-exploration and an exploration of death itself.
This is maybe where a little bit of my fatigue started setting in a little bit, because I thought maybe, although I thought the visuals were really cool, I did get found a little boring towards the end of this one. Damon, what was your thoughts on the second last short that we got, The Bird of Paradise?
I really love this one. I thought it was beautiful. This is also really the only project from this season that was using primarily full 3D animation rather than just 2D animation. So that kind of like 8 episodes in, it pushed me back. I was like, oh, we're doing like a 3D animation here. I thought it was just going to be like 2D. But it, just not to repeat anything that anyone else has said, my favorite line from this is, I'd rather die than give up hope.
Oh.
And when that scene ended, I legit thought, I mean, maybe it's up for interpretation at that point, I thought she died. And that was kind of like a Force ghost walking around at the end, because she's able to kind of open her eyes and see the world in which she's blind. So I'm always a sucker for a good tug on the good and the evil of a Jedi in Star Wars, on that dark side coming out and the fight between wanting to do good and just letting your anger and everything that you're just so mad about in that moment come out. I thought it was beautifully done. So in my head canon, she's dead. And I think that kind of makes that last scene hit a little harder.
There were some really good lines in that episode for sure. That was one of them. All of the George Takei stuff, he says, where to have it written down. Is it your heart? It is your heart that is blind. Why lament your eyes? You'll never take a false step if you let the Force guide you. Like, that's Star Wars. Write it down. Great stuff.
Final episode, and this is where I really feel like, based on after having how Klein and TCR have talked about it, I have to go back and rewatch it, because I wasn't as mystified by it as you guys were, and I feel like, well, shit, I kind of thought this last one lost me a little bit, and I was just ready to take a little nap. And so, Damon, I want your thoughts first. I want to go TCR last. Damon, what did you think about the final episode of Volume 3, Black?
I think you and I are going to be on the same page. This felt like a weird trip to me. I'm kind of watching this and I'm like, I don't know what's going on, man. This is some crazy visuals, some beautiful visuals, some freaky visuals, but I don't know what's going on. And it ended, I'm like, I don't know what I just watched. So I will be delighted to have these two kind of sit me down and explain what my eyeballs just witnessed.
In my notes at one point for this episode, I have zombies ? WTF ? Klein, talk to me about Black. Explain to me what Damon and I are not seeing.
So here's the thing. I think that this is like a masterpiece, and probably the mission statement for what Visions can and is and should be, in the sense that it is 100% no meddling at all, a creative's vision for what they want to make in Star Wars. You cannot deny that. It is, when I watched it as well, I watched the 12 minutes all the way through and was like, I don't know if I enjoyed that I don't know if it's the worst thing I've ever seen, but I want to know more. I want to unpeel those layers and figure out what it is. I think it's beautiful. The art is absolutely insane. I feel like it chewed me out or chewed me out. I feel like it chewed me up and spit me out by the end of it. And I think that one of the it's hard coming off of all these other episodes, and I think that, like, Damon, this is kind of what you're feeling coming off these other episodes. It is very much like, here is a story, we're presenting you the story, here are the characters, beginning, middle, end, boom. This is a little less overt. Like, there is a story there, but I do feel like, I said this on Reckless Rebellion, this is almost like a Rorschach painting. Like, you can pull so many different things out of this depending on who you are looking at it. The way that I think that this story is being told, I think it is about a stormtrooper who is on the Death Star as it's exploding, having he knows what's happening, having his entire life like flash before his eyes before coming back to that moment of death. And it's a trip. It's so weird. And you guys having the same reaction, like having this like kind of mixed reaction, I think is the beauty of it, in that like that is this thing is going to, there are people people capturing it on Twitter and putting it up and being like, this is a masterpiece, this is amazing. And I do think it's amazing. Even if you hate it, I think it's hard to look at it and go like, man, there is not artistry here. But like that's the tenet of all great art, is like that it is like this like divisive thing. It's meant to start conversation. It's meant to make you think. It's meant to get you talking. And like, we're never going to get another one of these. I think like there's so many of these episodes where I want another season. I want more. This is so wholly its own thing. And it's kind of beautiful in that way, that it's just like, this is like an artist's vision for what they want to do in Star Wars, with no notes, nothing. Let's just make it happen with free jazz and insane, crazy art.
While we were on this podcast, the Blue Jays lineup just came out, Klein, and George Springer is back in the lineup.
Lead off.
I think not only with this episode, but with Star Wars Visions in general, it's so artistic that it does. We like, each of us have had a different favorite and least favorite episode of the season. There's so much room for interpretation for so many of these, and I think it's wonderful that everybody can take a different episode away from it and be like, that one was for me. I think that's really cool. TCR, Black, Visions, Volume 3, the final episode. Give me your thoughts.
I want everyone to just stand up and rise with me as we go on a spiritual journey, a psychedelic trip, a psychedelic DMT-fueled exploration of death and decay set to the resounding good vibes of smooth jazz. I don't think people quite understand what this episode is meant to be, and that's okay. As I mentioned with the Bird of Paradise, it's an exploration of death. In my opinion, it is the positive side of death. What you accept, it will allow you to release from this mortal plane, allow your soul to travel into the next ether. I love the idea that Damon said in Bird of Paradise that maybe she's dead at the end. And I love that interpretation. I thought she was alive, but that interpretation is brilliant. I didn't notice if her eyes were open and clear, or if they still had the slashes or not. Don't know. Perfect excuse for me to go rewatch that. This one, though, oh man, the Death Star is exploding, and this guy is having this final fueled DMT trip, and it feels like 12 minutes, but to him, in real time, it's a snap. He's over. He's done. He's space dust. He's nothing. This is visually the craziest thing I've ever seen in Star Wars, and that is what makes it my favorite thing that I've ever seen from Star Wars visually. And it is, you know, the storyline that it posts. I think it's the storyline tag on the episode is a psychedelic battle between past and present, light and dark, and life and death plays out in the haunted psyche of an Imperial trooper who is on the cusp of defeat. And you get so many widespread things sprinkled out, including a Mace Windu appearance out of nowhere. And it's there and gone, and then you're just seeing something, and all of a sudden it's in the eye of the character, it's in the eye of the beholder of what you're seeing. And I think that the vast different interpretations of what this is what I love so much about this. It ended and I went, oh, there are going to be people that absolutely love this like me because they enjoy the ethereal mind fuckery that we get in this. And then there's going to be people who absolutely fucking hate it because they have no idea what's going on. It doesn't have too much of a plot. It is, as I like to call fever dreams, it is when I fall asleep and my meds have not fully kicked in, my body is at a complete rest while my mind is fully functioning. And these times I tend to astral project a little bit, and I always have to go to the bathroom, and it sucks because I get up and I walk to the bathroom and I go to pee, and then I'm yanked back into bed, and I'm like, how did I get here again? It's awful. It's terrifying. It's genuinely terrifying because I don't know how to control it, and it's not like oh well, I'm asleep. Well, wake up, kid. Or
Did you pee in the bed?
No. Or I think I'm asleep, or I think I'm awake.
A reminder that I do have to be out of here in 5 minutes. As much as I enjoy the story,
Yeah,
I gotta
you're
go.
good. I feel like I am awake and I'm not awake, and then it snaps back into the same thing. And as you see the story change throughout this, it always goes back to dead stormtroopers, and that's the ethereal nature of this episode. Is it the greatest thing of all time? Maybe. Maybe not.
I feel like with this episode specifically, I don't think I fit into either of the extremes. I think I just fit into a bucket of I gotta watch it again because I didn't give it the attention it properly deserves. And I think I just like I had watched all of the other 8 episodes in a row, and I got to this one, and I was just like, okay, last one. Let's wait till we get to the story, and then we never really got to it. And then I was like, oh damn, what happened? And so this was one I think I just got to revisit. Quick before we get out of here, what of the group was your number one? What was your favorite? Secondarily, is there any story you would like to see expanded other than we'll omit the one that actually is getting an expanded story? Tertiarily, are there any one of these that you would like to see canonized in the Star Wars universe? Damon, you first.
I think we mentioned already the smuggler can very easily be canonized, so I think that one is like a check for me. I love the Ninth Jedi. I'm so glad that is getting continued. So outside of that, maybe Lost Ones I'd like to see more of. I'm trying to like think of like some others that I'd like to see more of. I just thought this season was the best season of Star Wars Visions. And I think we've all agree on that, which is, I don't want to say shocking, but it's pretty rare when you have 4 people talking about Star Wars when we all agree about a thing.
It's crazy.
Klein, how about you? Favorite, one you'd like to see expanded, one you'd like to see canonized. Could be 3 different ones, can be all the same one.
Favorite, Song of Four Wings. Great stuff. Love it. One I'd like to see expanded, Song of Four Wings. Amazing. We just give it to me. Canonized, Song of Four Wings. Of course I want droid armor canonized. Are you kidding me?
That would be so cool. Just putting the Mandalorians to absolute shame. It's just like, here is an Iron Man suit.
Oh man, yeah.
TCR, favorite, canonized, and why do you like to see expanded?
Favorite is Black. I might be alone in there. That's fine. I love being alone. It's great. I'd like to see expanded. I'd love more of the dual universe. That's a lot of fun. I would love to see more of the smuggler universe. That's a lot of fun. I really like the bounty hunters. That would be fun to see explored more. Yuko's treasure as well. Wouldn't even mind Bird of Paradise. The one that should be canonized. I will. The one that should be canonized is, Damon mentioned the smuggler. I'll say the bounty hunters. There's a lot left there on the table, and it's so isolated enough that it could be canonized, and we could end up having this really great bounty hunter story with her trying to do good and trying to clear her name for whatever had happened with that Jedi.
Thomas, where can the people find you on socials? Where can they find the Reckless Rebellion podcast?
You can find me everywhere at TC Rochester Act, TCROCHESTERACT. You can slow it down and post, dear listener. You can listen to Reckless Rebellion wherever you get your podcasts. And if you need a pitch for it, we're basically also a psychedelic DMT trip set to the smooth sound of jazz, which is Klein's voice.
One of my favorite podcasts to listen to right now, and I'm not just saying that because you guys are here and I love you guys, but because it's genuinely a great 1 to 2 hours to listen to each and every week. Klein, where can the people find you on socials? Where can they find the Reckless Rebellion podcast on socials? Since TCR forgot to mention that. And talk to me about Controller Club as well.
You can keep up with me everywhere. I'm at the Kleinfelt, TheKleinFelt, Blue Sky, Instagram, Twitter. Reckless Rebellion is at Reckless Rebels on Twitter. That is ReckLessRebels. And hosting a video game podcast each and every week with friends of this show, Lauren Rouse and Tom Drew, Controller Club. You can find us on YouTube, TikTok, podcast services. We are everywhere. Come check us out, talking about the greatest and latest in video games.
I haven't listened to this week's episode yet, but that is next on my list after I get through my Reckless Rebellion. Damon, what is coming up next week on the Comic Corner?
Look, I didn't tell people where to find me on socials because you can't.
You can't be found. You're gone.
Isn't that great?
Damon.Graham. You can find him there.
Yeah, on Threads, where I got really mad at Marvel for revealing something way too early, by the way. Anyway, on this week on the Comic Corner, we've had a ton of interviews recently. You can listen to our interview with Kelly Thompson. We have her once a year. You know her for creating Jeff the Landshark. You know her for Absolute Wonder Woman. You know her for a lot of amazing books, and we talk about all of them. We also just had Ernie Altbacher talk about a little character called Batman. Ooh, bet you never heard of that character before. So go check him out.
Next week, we have a very big and exciting show. We will be covering the new season of The Witcher on Netflix. Shout out to our friend Matt Aguilar, Night of OA in the YouTube chat, hanging out with us today. He's going to be joining us, as well as Jam is coming to co-host that one with me as well. So that will be Wednesday, November 5th at, I believe, 5 p.m. Eastern time. We will be live. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. We appreciate you. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. On behalf of myself, Damon, Thomas, and Klein, we will see you next time.